Brake work is mandatory. It's a must. If we want to continue to grow, if we want to get to the goals that we have set forth, then we have to put out brake work. It's got to be the best. Hey guys, I want to welcome everybody back to Shop Talk Tuesday. I'm Dustin Jackson, the owner of EZN, and today I have Ben with me. He is our head boat detailer here at EZN, and we want to talk a little bit about maintaining your boat in the off season and how important that is to protect it even from the sun and from moisture issues that could generate mold, and some of the things that benefits you by doing those things after the season's over and before storage. So, Ben, in an ideal world, what would you say a guy that owns a boat would do during the off season?
So right into the off season, I'd get your boat out the water, get it washed up, and then bring it to the detailer of your choice, which should be EZN. So
yeah.
Once you get up here, we'll go ahead and assess what needs to be done, and it could be whether it's a compound, a polish.
Yep.
Maybe light wet sanding on the bottom, going up to the sandbars. So once we get that assessed, we can go ahead and lay a ceramic coating or a polymer sealant, and that will help protect your boat into the off season and have it fresh and ready for.
That's right. Have it ready for the next season. So let's just say the customer already has a polymer sealant, and maybe that we had done it at the beginning of season. What would be some of the benefits of them coming back to us at the end of the season and letting us look at it again?
So one benefit of coming back would be for us to go ahead and check over the polymer sealant, whether on the gunwales on the inside, on the top cap, your motor, the bottom of the boat, and just make sure everything is actually laid down properly and it's still protected the way it should be.
Yeah, so those heavily exposed areas to the sun or to the water, make sure that is kept up, that it's done its job over the year. And if there's any kind of premature failure or anything like that, we can go ahead and top it off and get it, make sure that protection is there, because this boat's going to sit there for months. And if it's exposed to the sun, that sun's really doing some damage to it. And we want to make sure that our product's doing its job.
Yep.
What about, say, ceramic coating? What would be something that we would do if a guy had it ceramic coated early in the season and now he's bringing it back to us in the off season?
So we'd go ahead and bring the boat in, put it up on our boat lift that we have at the shop.
Yep.
We'd walk it over and see what the most high traffic areas, whether it be the floor, like I said, the bottom of the boat gets rough, the actual water line. So what we could do would actually go ahead and get our dual action Rupes buffers and do a light polish on it. Go ahead and decontaminate the surface with alcohol water. And we can lay another coat of our System X ceramic coating.
That's right. So, and those are things that we can do. Depending on how much the boat is used, determines what the level of correction that we need to do. So, a guy that's used his boat a few times and he's just the recreational user, and he had his boat ceramic coated early in the season, chances are we're not going to have to get that invasive with it. We probably can just do a light cleaning, do a decontaminate on the ceramic coating itself, and really get that coating freshened back up. So we're going to check over it, like you said, the high abrasion areas and the high traffic areas. We're going to check over that and make sure that it's functioning perfectly. So when he puts his boat up for storage, whether it's uncovered or covered storage, it's protected. One thing that we do know about, and I know you're used to seeing it, is all the mold at the beginning of season. So guys that didn't have their boats maintained, so we didn't go in and wash them and dry them and possibly put a product in there to help with moisture like Damp Rid or something. What are some of the problems with that? So if a guy just throws a cover on his boat dirty, how bad are those boats when you see them come back?
So even though your boat is protected with a cover, you can still have moisture from dew actually build up on the cover or around the edges that's not properly sealed. So if your seats aren't protected with like a 303 or our System X interior ceramic, that mold can actually grow from the inside and come out of the seat and go ahead and damage the stitching on the seat.
That's right. So when that happens, how would you go about correcting it? And then how would you benefit by protecting that on the front end?
So one way we can correct it, which is the most abrasive way, is actually use like a high concentrate of a mold and mildew remover. Maybe like a magic eraser or a certain type of scrubbing brush. We'll go ahead and clean that surface and then protect it with our ceramic coating or our 303.
That's right.
If you get it maintained properly, like every 6 months, year or so, we can go ahead and probably just go ahead and wipe it down.
Just a good cleaning.
Yeah, like a nice wipe down with an all-purpose cleaner. Go ahead and lay that 303 back on it, and you're good.
That's right. And so basically, you're not having to do that invasive cleaning every single time, which we all know the harder you're cleaning on something, inevitably you're deteriorating the materials that you're working on. So such as the stitching, which you brought up, and the vinyl. As you're cleaning with magic erasers and scrub brush, you're using abrasive cleaners to clean, and so it can break down those fabrics. So makes perfectly good sense. Your suggestion or your thoughts are that maintaining it early in the year, getting it done ahead of time, is absolutely the best process to keep these guys from having this much damage going into the season.
Yes, it's the best way. Doing it before it's too late is the best way to protect your investment, protect you from having to buy new seats or having to repaint your boat or just anything.
That's like right. That. So we all know that maintenance is much cheaper than repair. Exactly. We've learned that in the automobile industry when that's the reason you change your oil, your brakes, or whatnot. So it's the same concept when you talk about cleaning. And these are the things that they probably don't think about. They're getting done using their boat. You know, it's not always a fun time to put it up for the year. Everybody wants to use their boat year round. But as the weather cools down, we know that it's not practical. But if we're going to put the boat up for a while and let it sit, let's get this thing protected from the sun and those harsh environments. Exactly. Also another benefit too is this time of year, our boat schedule starts to thin down a little bit. So you have more time to work on, say, project boats, ones that have really been abused over the years. And we know some of the struggles there that we have to bring them back by sanding and all. And it gives you a little more time to work on those. So if we're going to do like bottom paint or doing a deep sanding, wouldn't you think that this would be a better time for them to bring them back?
Now is actually the ideal time.
Yeah.
So whether it's for you getting it ready to put up for the season or get ready for next year, or you have a family member, you want to do it as like an early Christmas present or something like that.
Yep.
Now is the time.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think that makes sense. We have a lot of availability within the calendar, and so this time of year, and then in the spring when everybody's kind of generating that rush, sometimes it's difficult to get on those project boats and stay on them the time that they need. So we end up pushing those around in the schedule, and maybe we have long wait times to get on our schedule. So if we schedule them, say in November and December, we can spend the ample amount of time on them. We can get them up in our lift. We can sand them down the way they need to be done and make sure that those boats are perfect and ready for the next season, which makes great sense. So if you guys want to stick around, we're going to walk outside and go check out a boat that came to us just this week. And we ceramic coated it earlier in the year. And he came back in to do his maintenance for the off season and show you, one, how it kind of held up, and two, some of the process that we're going to go through to get this thing ready for him. So we want to welcome you guys back. We're out here in the shop, and we got this regulator in this week, and this is a boat that we ceramic coated early in the season, and he came back in. He wanted to get his maintenance wash, get this thing ready for the off season. Ben, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've done to this boat and how you're getting it prepared for storage?
Okay, so the first thing we did was actually go ahead and pre-rinse the boat, get any loose dirt from him pulling the boat up here off the surface. Went ahead and used our foam cannon to soap it up. Use our wool mitts, wash the whole boat top to bottom, inside and out, literally everywhere.
Just a good thorough washing to get anything that's maybe stuck to the boat and also
to the coating.
Yeah.
So once we did that, we actually got our blowers and our chamois, go ahead and dried the whole boat, clean the seats real light with an all-purpose cleaner, clean the seats, went ahead and 303 them to keep them protected from any moisture, mildew, or whatnot.
Sure.
That's about it, really.
Yeah, so basically it's a really simple wash, and that's some of the benefits of being able to maintain it after it's been used. So if this boat would have set up all winter and we got it in next spring, you'd probably see a lot more mold in it, a lot more damage from the sun. Even though it's ceramic coated, it's not impermeable. It's not just going to last forever. These things have to be maintained. And so if you do this maintenance wash, this guy's spending $100 and something to have this thing maintained, and he's not having to spend $1,000 next year to come in and polish and rework everything. So that's really good. One of the issues that we did have on this boat was the caulking up here had some mold in it. Now this isn't something that our ceramic was going to protect against. This is just a maintenance item that's normal on a boat. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to clean it first. If the cleaning doesn't work, which chances are it won't because the caulk likes to mildew from the inside out, like you spoke of earlier, is we'll just cut this caulk out and go in and replace it for him. We spoke to the customer, let him know that this was a normal condition, and that's something that he has to kind of actively work on. Keeping that caulk dry, keeping the water blown out of those seams will help maintain that. So all in all, we were very impressed to see how this coating was holding up. We use System X like Ben spoke of, and it does a great job for us. We've coated everything on this boat, and it's got a great shine, as you can see. It really popped back to life. The cleaning of it was extremely easy. We can make sure that this boat's really ready for the next season. When he gets in it, he's going to be ready to go. So I want to give Ben a special thank you for joining us today, and I know it may be out of your comfort level just a little bit, but you've done a great job explaining what goes into the maintenance wash and the importance of staying on top of these things. The customer sees all the benefit from that, and they need to understand why it's important to just maintain these things instead of having to do all this deep cleaning and invasive cleaning. So you've done a great job explaining that. I want to thank everybody for coming back to another episode of Shop Talk Tuesday and invite you to like our page. And if you get some value out of this, go ahead and share it. And just keep coming back. We're going to be on air every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Come check us out. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave it in the comment section. Thank you.